Just before we start this episode, I want you guys to know what's going on here. So this is basically a podcast with Erythia, spread through multiple parts. This will be a one-time thing, and this is about the future of Dragon Adventures. Yesterday I uploaded part 1, and this entire podcast will be spread through about 4 or 5 parts of like 10 minutes long, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But anyways, let's just keep going with the actual video. Can we go to the next thing, or is there anything else we gotta talk about here?
Nope, that's all with PvP worlds.
Okay.
So this is probably one of the larger changes to the game that's going to be coming first. And this is where we're going to make worlds like actually RPG worlds. So they're all going to have their own little town. They're all going to have a unique feature that can only be completed in that world. So recycling your eggs, trading accessories with NPCs, recycling potions. Each world will have one kind of special activity there that only can be done there. Then each world will have a town that kind of represents that world, so it'll have a theme, and the NPCs who live there will represent that world. And then we're going to reduce farming locations. Right now there's 50 to 60 farming locations per world, so we're actually only going to have 5 per world. And we're going to have a dragon pen where you can actually buy dragons from that world, but they won't be Gen 1s.
So, you mentioned there are only 5 farming spots on the world, but are the player lists going to be the same? Is it like still like 30, 40 players?
Yep, exactly.
But how is that gonna work? Because you have 5 farming spots. Or are they like really huge and everyone can farm if they want to?
Yep, they're gonna be huge, and once we get to that next portion, you're gonna learn that farming in groups, getting huge groups together to farm, is gonna extremely benefit everybody who's in that area.
I don't know if you're able to...
Rather than punish people.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you're able to hop in a game real quickly. Just join your server, because I kind of had a question about the groups, because currently how the group system works, it's kind of hard, since I think the maximum amount of players you can have in your group is 5, I believe, right now, which is kind of small. But what you have to do actually to invite someone to a party, you gotta click invite and you gotta type in the name. Is there gonna be a system where you can actually just click invite and just click invite the player instead of having to type in the name, because that's kinda annoying, and it will go way faster if you just click invite on the actual name.
Yeah, so we're either gonna do like you can invite someone from the leaderboard, or there should be a player list that kind of shows with your party. Back to the dock.
Oh, there it is. Found it.
Okay. So we touched on farming locations. Each dragon world is gonna be able to sell some dragons, and that'll be like a swap system. They'll have random colors and a lower kind of cheap price. We're gonna have individual mob fighting zones, so enemies won't spawn on top of farming locations anymore, so you can farm in bliss and peace and happiness. And we're separating the eggs too. A lot of new players have trouble actually finding eggs. So we're going to have one zone that spawns eggs, and it's going to be like a little mini game to kind of acquire the egg.
That's way better than what you have right now, because the thing that's happening right now, you need a VIP server to actually gain these eggs, because there are currently 2 on the map. You have over 70 farming spots on every single map, and everyone tries to go for these eggs, and basically what happens is players pick them up, and it's gonna take for ages for you to actually acquire just 1 egg. And if you have a VIP server, it just takes for like maybe 3 minutes. And this is gonna fix that problem, so people actually don't need VIP servers anymore to get eggs.
Yeah, exactly. And eggs are they're always gonna be spawned. And the minigame, we're gonna reuse the fishing minigame. So you're gonna like breathe fire on the egg and try to keep it inside that green zone. And eggs are actually gonna have their own rarity as well. So the more rare the egg, the higher chance it's gonna have to hatch those more rare and harder to come after dragons. So like if it's a common egg, there's a low chance that you're gonna get the rare dragons. But the rarer the egg you find, the harder it will be to tame, but the better chance you have to hatch those harder dragons, like the the 5 or 2% drop dragons, those will get higher as the egg rarity increases.
So will the system still be this kind of the same? Like in every world you have dragon eggs where you can acquire certain dragons. Is it gonna be the same with this update, but then with certain rarity eggs, or is it gonna be just eggs and you can get any dragon depending on how rare it is? You can get better dragons. What kind of system is it gonna be?
It's gonna be, so we're gonna keep the world eggs. That's gonna be the same. The only thing is we're adding a rarity. That way it'll be easier for people to start hatching those harder to come by dragons.
And are these gonna stack like 10 eggs per rarity egg, or is it gonna be different?
They're most likely not gonna stack anymore. That way we won't like limit eggs, and some stuff that's coming later with breeding your dragons. They'll drop eggs rather than hatching a baby immediately. So you could breed 2 dragons, and they, depending on their species, they could drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eggs.
That's a really cool concept. So that I don't know what to say about that one. I did not expect that. That's a really cool concept.
Yeah, I don't know why you get a baby right immediately. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta breed with someone else's dragon, you get an egg. But certainly when you breed with your own dragons, it certainly just grows inside a belly or whatever it's called. I'm not a expert in that kind of stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on from that, there will also be specific quests for each world. So NPCs in that world will be able to ask you to do little tasks for them throughout that specific world. And doing them, you'll get a variety of rewards based on how complex the mission is.
That is a very cool concept. I don't have anything to say about it, other than it's awesome. And this will actually up the gameplay of Dragon Adventure so much, because Dragon Adventure right now, let's just be honest, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Can't disagree.
Yeah, a lot of people got upset because I said that, and yeah.
Well, I even think it.
Even Erythia thinks it, so there you guys go. Erythia doesn't like her own game. Are we going to the revamping, or are we still gonna stay here? Okay.
So this is the hugest change in the game. This is going to affect the entire game, and this system is why your user levels need to be wiped. So basically, we're changing our entire game to be more like RuneScape, where you're gonna have special skill abilities based on these new farming locations. So there's gonna be a fruit gathering skill, a resource gathering skill, fishing skill, treasure gathering, and scavenging. And each of those separate kind of skills are gonna drop unique prizes. So fruit obviously is gonna get you food for your dragon, and seeds for the new farming system. Resources are going to be dropping resources for base building. Fishing is also food, but it'll come with food to tame wild dragons. And treasure is going to be the best way to make money really quickly, and scavenging is going to be the best way to find super rare potions and dragon buff and XP potions and all that kind of stuff. So all your gathering skills are finally separated. So when you're farming, you're gonna be focusing on one kind of niche at a time, where in Dragon Adventures right now, you click on a bush and get everything at once.
Yeah, so what's gonna happen, because there's a game pass, which I still don't get what it does. There's a game pass called the... which one was it? The Resource Hog? Drops one item pool. So is that gonna stay in the game? Are all the game passes gonna stay, or is it gonna change?
So some game passes will probably change, but we'll evaluate something of equal value, and for anybody who bought that specific game pass, we'll also give them a little bonus in the game, just in case they don't like the change. At least they'll get some in-game reward for it.
That's a great fix.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the hugest change in the game. And like I said, with gathering zones. There's gonna be like, if everybody can harvest 100 plants, then you'll get a super XP gain for 30 seconds. Stuff like that. So gathering in groups of people is going to benefit everybody. You're going to be able to upgrade all of your individual skills. So if you're like a fruit farmer, the more and more you harvest fruit, the more easier it will be for you to get more rare fruit.
That is a very, very cool system. But are these all gonna have their own perks, or is there gonna be one good one and just 4 less good ones? Because it would seem kinda strange if you had just one good one and 4 just ones that just don't matter that much. So how is that gonna work?
So they're all gonna be upgradable, and they're all gonna have their own perks and upgrades because they all give you different resources when you farm them. So that'll take a little bit of work from the devs, of course, to figure that out. But they'll all be separate, so they each have a useful kind of purpose. We don't want one of them to be less of value just because you're only getting fruit where you could have been like getting money or something, you know?
Honestly, I really like this. This is gonna change Dragon Adventures in a good way, of course. And I feel like more people will keep playing because of this, because Dragon Adventures, it currently doesn't have a system. You go to a world and you collect dragons. That's the game. You can trade for dragons, that's it. The models all look awesome, but that's just the good part about the game, and there's nothing really else that you can do except for maybe do the quest for unlocking certain dragons like the Suki and the Geoterics. Or the Geoterics, like I think those are the only event dragons. Or those kind of attainable dragons. So in this way you can actually just grind for certain things, and people have a goal, which is gonna keep people wanting to play because they want to go to the next goal and they want to just unlock this or that. So that's gonna be awesome.